Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Spellbinder's weekly headline report from the Unfiltered News from the Reality Zone, compiled by G. Edward Griffin, along with his news scouts. This is for the week of January 21st through the 27th, 2012. A comic strip this week: Fed's employees' trust funds in the safe. Social Security trust funds already robbed. Yes, yours but not theirs. Bad. Now to the headlines for this week. AMA advocates a federal law to force people into experimental vaccine trials. That's right. It's Natural Society, January 27th. They're going to try to start making people test their vaccines. It'll be mandatory instead of volunteering. Hawaii proposes a law that requires internet service providers to keep a record of every website ever visited by all their customers for 2 years. That's right. So when you go to the websites, they have a record of your IP number. Gizmo Crave, January 27th. Bill Gates, who is a major investor in Monsanto, advocates that GMO crops are necessary to fight world hunger despite the health problems, the crop failures associated with GMO foods. Here is the story behind the story. Natural Society, January 27. That's right. I mean, this stuff tears up your digestive system and everything else, and they don't care. They just don't care what it does to you. You're going to eat it and love it. It's human rat poison. U.S. Treasury is raiding federal employees' pension funds to help cover its debts. Imagine that. This is the same fraud that played out in Ireland, Portugal, and other EU nations. The United States is like, what does rob our people do? Well, our country's got away with it. Natural News, January 25th. Scary. U.S. The Center for Disease Control concludes a 4-year study on Morgellons disease, fibers sprouting from the skin, and has no explanation of its cause except to say that it is not from the environment or an infection. Critics suspect a cover-up, which probably is, because I've seen the people. They have this stuff. It's growing out of their skin. It's nanotubed, whatever it is. MSNBC, January 25th. Top export from U.S. now is oil. Yes, even though the U.S. also is the world's biggest importer of oil, this conundrum is explained by the fact that previous top exports, such as airplanes, have diminished greatly, and because exported oil, even though it is now the top item, still is but a small fraction of the import. In net balance, the U.S. remains deeply energy dependent on other countries. Cron.com, January 25th. U.S. How to identify Republican neocons. That's right. The new communists, I call it. That's why I think of a neocon, because they're not conservative at all. They're quite liberal and pretty well out of control. Posing as liberty candidates. Alt News, January 24th. Yes, they're posing as it. The real person, they know who the real person is. Ron Paul has been consistent 30 years. They've been flip-flopping their entire 30 years. Anyways, George Soros predicts that Occupy Wall Street protests will turn violent as financial systems continue to deteriorate, leading to a martial law and a repressive political system. We have been saying this for many months, but the difference is that we have urged people to beware of the Occupy movement for that reason, while Soros has been financing it. That's right. That's why he knows, because he's financing it. When? WorldNet Daily, 23rd of January. U.S. Witnesses document possible vote fraud in South Carolina primary. You guessed? An activist post, January 23rd. They know it was taken for Ron Paul. U.S. The Supreme Court unanimously agrees that police may not place a GPS device on someone's car without a warrant, but they do not agree on why. Some said it was because doing so was a search, which requires a warrant. Others say it was because it violates one's privacy. The lack of clarity may lead to future legal challenges. CNN, January 23rd. That's right, tracking you. And the U.S. I think he was in the Soviet Union. U.S. Senator Rand Paul, an outspoken critic of the TSA, was detained by TSA after an X-ray body scanner detected an anomaly at his knee. He refused a pat-down, but offered to accept another scan, which was denied to him. He missed his flight. Daily Mail, January 23rd, and he's putting a filing a lawsuit against him, too. They got about $250,000 for this lawsuit against TSA. He says they're randomizing people's search. And it just happened to be him when it went off on the randomization. And he said that's not right either. I don't think it's right at all. As I said before, it doesn't take nothing but a suicide bomber to walk into the airport while everybody's waiting to get scanned and blow up more people than he could if he took out 2 or 3 airplanes. So I don't understand TSA. All it is to me is a setup for a terrorist attack. That's all it is to me. So it should be abolished and let the airports handle it or whatever, but not the federal government. Video. Mitt Romney's top 3 donors are banks, including Goldman Sachs. All of them have received billions of bailout money from taxpayers. Guess where his loyalties will lie if elected? That's right. These people that gave him the money, he owes them the favors. Don't you know? That's why you got to know that Ron Paul gets his from the people. He owes the people the favors, not the banksters and the corporations. Vote Ron Paul. Tennessee for Paul, January 21st. This amazing power of right words, even if it is an ad. Check this video out. Iowa caucus vote fraud is now confirmed after the votes were removed from public scrutiny and counted in secret. Of course, when they do things in secret, different things come out of the results. It may never be known how strong Ron Paul actually placed in that contest. Many believe he actually won, which was the reason for the sudden change to a secret counting. That's right, you got to rob the man that the corporations don't want. You know it. If Ron Paul is not wanted by the corporation, by the banksters, and the others, he must be the right man, because they don't want him because he's gonna cut their profits, and they know it, and they're not gonna make the money they're robbing from us. That's why they're scared of Ron Paul. Next, the seed patent for aluminum-resistant seeds. That's right, aluminum-resistant seeds apparently was not created by Monsanto to take advantage of crop damage by chemtrails, but according to patent applications for improving crop yields in highly acidic soils, as are found in Africa. The patent is held not by Monsanto, but by the USDA and Brazil's Department of Agriculture. Even though Monsanto may not own the patent, it could have a royalty or manufacturing contract that would make it an unseen partner with the patent holders. Monsanto does hold other patents on crops that are designed to thrive under the kind of stress that would result from soil contamination from chemtrails. That's right, Farm Wars, posted January 21st. U.S. Internet voting is gaining momentum as a major software company is purchasing by venture capital company in Spain. Already over 900 political jurisdictions in the U.S. are using this software. Internet voting is even more prone to fraud than electronic voting machines. In Washington, D.C., a group of college students hacked the system and made it play for their fight song when a vote was cast. Not so funny when you think of how easily our elections can be rigged, like the South Carolina one. That was all done by electronic voting. Klein Online, January 21st. Ron Paul introduces legislation to repeal the section in the recently passed National Defense Authorization Act that allows American citizens to be arrested without charges or trial and indefinitely detained. He is the only presidential candidate to do this. Russia Today posted January 21st. Video. Fox News says that Ron Paul is the biggest threat to Obama, not Mittens Romney. That's right. Because Ron Paul is on principles, and the rest of them aren't. That's why he can win. He'll win by principles alone. YouTube, January 21st. U.S., Montana, Louisiana, and many other plaintiffs bring lawsuits against the Obama administration for counting illegal aliens in the census to shift the number of representatives in the House in favor of border states to skew the Electoral College. It's put out by Chuck Baldwin, January 21st. And it's true. They counted everyone in the census. They didn't discount Americans. There was anyone that filled it out. which gives them an upper hand to get illegals to vote for them. So Obama wants to make illegals legal so he can have voters. Don't you know? Monsanto Corporations is discovered abusing workers in Argentina and treating them as slave labor. Natural Society, January 21st. The disease machine. Why drug makers keep you sick. That's right, because if you were well, they wouldn't make any money. While big pharma cancer drugs kill people every day, turmeric, used as a spice, can reduce tumor size up to 81%, inexpensive and without side effects. Natural Society, January 21st. Very good article. Checked on that. Video, U.S. This analysis shows how the government entitlement system is eliminating the middle class and keeping the poor in poverty. They remain dependent on state and thus easier to control. YouTube, January 24th. That's right. Entitlements keep you under control because if you say no, they just take them away. Or anything they want you to do. Illinois, similar to Greece in size and especially in debt, the state may cut pensions and Medicaid, but this is far from covering its bills totaling more than $115 billion. The federal government, read American taxpayers, likely will be forced to bail out Illinois, which will fall even further under federal control. That's right, they're going to be owned by the 15-mile district of criminals. Dollar collapse, January 22nd. U.S. Not everything in the interstate commerce, Iowa, Florida, New Hampshire, recent legislation against unconstitutional federal overreach is a positive growing trend. TAC, January 18th. Video, Max Kaiser says that debt rating agencies are serving the interest of fund managers and traders on Wall Street and City of London. This analysis is harsh but hard to refute. YouTube, January 17th. And here's your great photo of the week. Lighthouse being engulfed in a storm around. I mean, there's a guy standing in the doorway as these huge waves come crashing around. And then you'll have other things here. This is the headlines for this week. Things you may have missed. And there's some things down here you can check out. Also on down has a video. Voting machine wins election. This is from 2008, but more timely than ever. Click and laugh. It shows you how the voting machines are winning the elections, not you. Until next time, this is Spellbinder saying be good at it, and check on this newsletter for this week. I'll have a link to the address for it, the Reality Zone current period for the week of the 21st through the 27th. You'll have a good weekend. It looks like it may be kind of nice here in the Ohio Valley. It may get a little partly sunny this afternoon. Right now it's 35 and cloudy, overcast. Well, until next time, you all be good at it, have a good weekend, and stay safe. Good day.